communication with Southern California, KHJ-TV Public Affairs presents Teen Talk. Studies show that every town with a population over 25,000 has some type or form of youth gang. It is estimated that there are about 350 gangs in Los Angeles, with about 20,000 to 30,000 members between the ages of 12 and 22. 60% of the violent street crime in Los Angeles County is youth crime. In 1980, Los Angeles police reported 192 persons killed in gang violence incidents.
Every creature in the world needs to unite with others of its species. Psychologists refer to this closeness as bonding. For all of us, the bonding process begins and hopefully continues throughout our lives with our families. The bonding continues outward to marriage and the creation of our own families, but with teenagers, the bonding process can begin in some different ways, some of which are quite threatening to adults. I'm referring in this instance to the formation of teenage gangs. I'm Joe Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk, we've invited a couple of teenagers and Brother Modesto Leon of the SEA Youth Development Program, who have had, or still, in their case, they have had an affiliation with a gang. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk, and welcome to you, Brother
Teen
Leon.
Talk. Teens on Gangs. A panel discussion with host Joe Feinstein and several teens on the subject of gangs.
To be a part of something, to be recognized.
To be somebody, to be a part of something, to be recognized. Did you get that recognition when you joined the gang?
Yes, I did. And a lot of trouble, too.
And a lot of trouble, too. How old were you?
I'd say about 16.
You were 16 when you joined, and how long did you stay in the gang?
Until after high school, I'd say about 8 years.
8 years? You were in a gang for 8 years. Yes. You just recently dropped out of the gang? Okay, I want to talk with you about how you drop out, if it's as easy dropping out as dropping in to a gang. Rebecca, tell us, how long were you a gang member?
I was involved in the gang for around 5 years.
And why'd you join?
To feel like I belonged, or I was something, you know, to like, oh gosh.
Something that gave you a sense of bonding
Identity
with those other identity.
Yeah.
Really? Is this what you hear all the time, Brother Leon?
Yes, I think a lot of the young people, sometimes there's no good home family situation, and so the young people don't belong to that. Sometimes they're not going to school, and so they see their friends down the street and they're not going to school and they're not doing anything, and so your gangs begin to form with young people who maybe don't have anything to belong to.
Did you guys have an initiation rite? Was there certain things that you had to do in order to get membership into the gang?
More or less fight. That's what it really, a lot.
Tell me about that.
You would get jumped in sometimes, or if you really had a reputation of beating up somebody or something, then they would say, well, you know, you don't have to jump them in or anything, but more or less it was more or less fighting, proving yourself that you can take care of yourself, so you can hang around with the rest of the guys and stuff.
Did you like to fight?
Not really, but when you had to, I guess, to defend yourself.
But you weren't defending. It sounds like you were charging out, like you were being on the offensive.
A lot of times that would happen, but a lot of times it was just for respect too, you know.
You get respect by being big and strong, and by showing them how strong you are?
To prove yourself. A lot of things.
Is this the basic idea of how people get into a gang?
Yeah, I think when you're young and you're growing to be a teenager, you know, a sense of you're maturing and you want to prove how strong you are and that you belong to something. A lot of kids belong to a baseball team, a football team.
For me, it was
Boys
probably
club.
with the head, with the intellectual stuff.
Boys club, or belong to the Greek club in school or the band. A lot of our kids sometimes don't have that support to get into that, and so they get into other groups. And in this case, it would be gangs, and this would be in any part of the city of Los Angeles, not just our area, but any part of the city. We have over 400 gangs in the county of Los Angeles.
I know. We're coming to all those statistics. The statistics on gangs are incredible. And the numbers of young people that are involved in them and what they have to do. What did you have to do to get into your gang, Rebecca?
Well, it was almost like the same thing, but you had a fight around 5 or 6 girls, or on my, for instance, for me, it's around 5 or 6 girls like that, or else you had to do something for them to, or for
So
them
you
to accept
fought?
you or something like
Really?
that. To
What do
see
you-
how many, to like to prove how good, or how good you could back up your neighborhood, or something like that, you know.
Really? Incredible. Incredible. What did you, what happens with the leader of the group? Who is the leader of your
It's
gang?
not more or less of a who's the leader. It's somebody. It's all together. That's part of being of a gang. It's all together, being together. Everyone is one person by themselves. See, like all of it. If somebody does something, that other person has to go ahead along and do something else too. If one of their friends gets beat up, well, you ain't gonna like it because it's their friends. So you feel mad and everything. So you go ahead and do that and go over there to their gang and do the same thing to them. Try to get one of them together and beat them up too.
Police officials estimate that almost half the violent street crimes in the nation are committed by youth gang members, and they also say that gang formation is definitely on the rise in the 80s. How do your gang and the police relate to each other? Did you guys have a hard time with the police, or did the police kind of give you a difficult time, Rebecca?
Yeah, like they kind of have like a stereotype or something, you know, because once you do a crime and then the police know you, you know, they, once like you're on the streets, they come after you. You say, like if somebody robbed a store or did something wrong, they'll just go right to you, you know. Once they know you or some of the other people, they'll just
So they finger
handcuff
you.
Yeah.
You're an appointed kind of person, and once they've got the finger on you, then automatically they start making the accusations, which probably cause a great deal of confusion and frustration.
Yeah, so that's when you wouldn't have a good relationship with officers, you know. So you wouldn't really get along with them.
You won't.
You wouldn't.
Were you guys in the same gang?
No.
Was your gang an all-girls gang? It was boys and girls. And yours was boys and girls also? And but from different streets and so on?
Yes.
You know, it used to be that gangs used to exist primarily to defend their turf or their territory, a place that everybody belonged to on a specific street or in a particular place. And then what I see and what my research seems to show me is that the gangs now exist as places to push the drugs and as places to commit crimes unto themselves. How do you see it? What was the purpose of your gang?
Just to be together, again, to be together, to be somebody, recognition, you know, reputation that you have, you know.
Are you saying you never committed any crimes?
I did, sure I did.
What
Sure I
kinds
did.
of crimes did they commit?
Rob, you know, break into cars, things like that, small things, you know. I never went inside a liquor store or anything like that, you know, with the gun or anything. But I used to break into cars, something like that, you know. That, again, would be with my friends, too, you know.
Really? Did you ever do any of this on your own?
No, not really.
So it has to be with the friends doing something that is kind of, in a sense, macho, to be, you know, you get your...
Especially, too, when, you know, jobs, you know, it's an important thing, too, you know, out there.
What do you mean?
Because there ain't no jobs, so when there ain't no jobs, so what else are you going to do? You need money, right?
Right.
Money is a necessity, so you go and try to steal something, or you sell drugs or something, and people, younger people see that, so they say, well, he's older, he's doing it, so, you know, why can't I do it, you know?
Do the police hassle these kids, or are they, you know, are they within their rights, or are they trying to protect, or are they really trying to hassle?
Well, I think the problem is so big in certain areas that the police really don't know what to do, so they come in and try to work with the young people. Again, sometimes some of them get ID'd, and that's not good, but I guess in the whole, it's a problem on both sides. We don't know what to do, so we think with police, we're going to solve the problem. I think we're talking about jobs, we're talking about school, and I think that's the type of thing that we need to look forward to rather than just the police getting involved. That's just after the facts. We need to get there before the facts.
Without mentioning anybody's names or any gangs' names, were there gangs that existed strictly for crime and criminal purposes?
No.
Not
No?
too many. No.
Not too many. But did you know of any that were particularly geared just to do a crime thing or spread drugs or do something like that?
Drugs is a big thing there with gangs.
It is?
Drugs.
Tell me.
Because if people have drugs, they have a sense of they have like power or something. They have recognition. They know him.
But they also have something that's valuable in monetary terms. Those drugs can be pushed and they make lots of money off that stuff.
Just our example on the way in here, we went to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And some little girls were on the phone there, and they had bought some pills from a pharmacy, and they were trying to sell them off somebody. Says, we got, what, 50 whites or
Volumes.
volumes? Right
They
there,
had
right next behind us. They were like 12 or 13 right here. You know, they're trying to make a dollar.
Yeah, but what I'm not saying a couple of kids who are out to push a couple of drugs to make some money. I'm talking about the basic purpose of the gang. You know, you can tell me that the gang exists to belong and have a sense of belonging, and I understand that. But I'm also saying that a lot of the police that I read in my research tells me that the gangs exist for not purposes of bonding, but to make a lot of money and to hurt a lot of people. Did you ever hurt anybody?
Not ever since I've been in a gang, I never hurt anybody.
You never hurt anybody. Did the gang ever hurt you?
Well, sometimes they did, yeah.
How?
Well,
They
it-
would find out
like,
that you're
yeah.
from a gang or something, so they say they know you because of that already. So they say, well, there he goes, you know, and they go ahead and jump you or something like that. And that's when your friends come in too. They say, well, they beat up so and so, so why don't we go back there and get back at them? And this is where the problem relates and everything.
Now, the beating up is with the hands and so forth, but what happens when you start putting knives or guns into your
There's
pockets?
going to be a killing. There's going to be a killing.
Have you ever killed anybody?
No.
Do you know of anybody who has been killed?
Yes, a friend of mine was killed in my driveway.
What happened?
He got killed. They arrested a couple of guys. It was a gang-related thing too.
That's what like mostly happens a lot because a lot of people, they think it's the old times, you know, they don't believe in fighting with hands and stuff, so then they need, for like in case protection or something, you know, they carry a gun or knives or something, you know, to show, like, in case they can't do it, you know. If there's like a lot of the times you find a lot of people, if you go into another neighborhood and that neighborhood don't like you, you have to like be watching around to see if there's no other gang members around there, because they come up to you in like a big crowd and stuff, you know, not just one person against each other. So that's why a lot of the gang members, they carry weapons and stuff, you know, like to protection.
Because you're not always with your other gang members. You're not always with them. So you feel safer carrying something, a chain or a knife or something, a gun. That's when the killing starts or something like that. But it's mostly, when I was in junior high school, it was fist fighting most of the time, never knives. Now, the youth, it's harder now, so now they carry weapons and stuff, so it is harder.
The closeness of gang members in the bonding process can be very tight indeed. Panel, just how far would you have gone for another gang member? What would you have sacrificed? Would you have sacrificed your life, let's say, for another member?
Yeah, I would.
You would have.
Yeah,
Why?
because that's the whole thing. When you join a gang, it's like one for all and all for one, like that. You know, if in case somebody else gets jumped, you have to back them up, you know, or else they're gonna, or if you don't claim your neighborhood or whatever, you know, they're gonna say you're a ranker, you know, and then they.
A ranker?
Yeah.
What's a ranker?
That's like somebody that denies that they're from a gang and stuff like that.
Oh.
So then after, when you do that, that's when the other people in the gang, they jump you for just doing that stuff, you know, for
Really?
saying that you're not from their neighborhood and things like that.
Did you love the leaders of your gang? I mean, did you feel a real closeness with those people?
Well,
you
kind of, because they're like people you look up to, because there's not really that many, you know, how do you say, people that you can really talk to and stuff, you know. So like they're the ones that you look up to, and you know, when you need something, they're just.
You're 14 or 15 and you joined the gang, Ricky. Would you have sacrificed your life for any of those gang members?
I don't think so, not really.
Uh-huh.
No.
Now that you look back on it.
That I look back in it, no. I never really did. I would, if I would see my other friend or something like that getting beat up or something, I would, you know, join him, fighting with them. But to get killed, I wouldn't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rough. You know?
It is kind of rough.
It's rough.
God, I just wonder, do small-time gang members decide that they're going to grow up and become members of big-time gangs like the Hells Angels
Yes.
or the Outlaws or the Pagans, or maybe even the Mafia? Is that one of the dreams of the kids in the gang? Yeah, really?
I had a dream like that once, you know, saying maybe I'll become a big gangster one day or something, you know. Not to go kill anybody or anything, but to make money, to have power.
Mm-hmm. Money and power.
Money and power.
That is a very important thing. Why can't you get money and power legally?
It's hard. It's hard, you know. Like I said again, you know, there ain't enough jobs out there, you know,
Yeah,
to really
but
help you out.
And plus the school system, like they kind of put a thing against the people, you know, like certain kind, and then after they just have like a stereotype or whatever, and then that's like a kind of.
You think the
thing
schools
too.
are not really handling the needs that you had when you were a teenager, let's say, when you were in high school? The schools weren't doing enough for you?
Well, at my school, when I was going to school, we had a gang counselor.
Counselor?
That was there because the gangs, it was just too rough in there in that school, so they needed somebody. There was narcotic officers too,
Yeah.
you know. It was hard.
Did you
Now,
trust the gang counselor?
Yes, I did. He helped me a little bit. You
What
know.
did he do for you?
Talk, you know, advice, you know, why did I do this, why did I do that, advice.
Tell us about the SEA Youth Development Program. What does SEA mean?
It's Soledad Enrichment Youth Program, and it's part of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. And we get young people that have been out of school for 2 or 3 years. We work with them on a independent study program along basically with the schools, and then we put them back, we send them back to their home school after 5 or 6 months. So we have about 60 young people that we work with.
How do you take the loyalty that they're feeling for these gangs and develop it as a loyalty for the SEA program and say, this is where we want you to, we love you too?
It's the whole thing of belonging. If the young people can belong to something, if they can see that education is important, if they can see that maybe they're reading in the 3rd grade level when they come to us, and then in 6 months we can, you know, get them up a year or 2 in school, then they feel good about themselves. Then they feel good about going back to school, doing something positive, and so that's
Brother
one way.
Leon, are there any people in this general environment that you guys are living in, you guys can answer this too, that don't join the gang? They won't have any part of the gang. Is there anybody that doesn't join?
Sure, there's a lot of young people that, you know, go to school and are gang members. I mean, they belong because they live in that neighborhood. They live where those young people live, but they're not into violence. They just belong to that neighborhood, to that street.
So you're saying to me that a gang member doesn't necessarily mean violence.
No.
It doesn't necessarily mean hurt. It doesn't necessarily mean punishing or beating up on or doing that.
Not necessarily. I think it's a small percentage. For your average gang might have 100 or 150 young people, and maybe out of those you might have 12 or 14 or 20 who are your hardcore. And the rest are just young people who belong because they live in the neighborhood, because they know those kids, because they go to that school, because they hang around that boys club. So it's like belonging.
I see. It's always a matter of belonging.
It's a security you have.
You really?
It's a security that you join. You know,
What are you
know.
doing now for the in your community? with
Helping them talking to the youth, telling them, you know, it's not good. I went through it myself. I'm not saying that I'm preaching to them,
Yeah.
but as a friend, you know, as an experience, I'm talking to them.
Well, yeah, you're giving me all that talk. I want to belong to the group because that gang needs me. I'm really important in that gang. I don't want to leave that gang, and the gang is going out on a big bus tonight. We're going to really have some great time and great action, and I think we're going to do some robbing tonight.
It's going to give you trouble.
Ah, baloney, trouble. You don't know from trouble.
Sure I
I'd
do.
be
I
in
went
trouble
through
if
it.
I don't stay with those guys, because I really love those guys, and they love me.
Later on, when you get killed, who's going to know? Who's going to know?
I'm not going to get killed. Are you kidding? I'll never get killed. The cops, they don't know anything anyway.
If you don't get killed, you'll probably end up in prison.
Oh, baloney. I got my buddies, and they'll save me. They'll protect me.
Are they going to support you when you need a job or something?
Sure, they'll be
gonna
there
take you
whenever I
in?
need them. I know that they'll be there.
They'll just be there when, like, whenever the stuff, when the fighting comes down. But then once you're behind bars or dead, they're just gonna say forget about it, you know.
Membership and organization of gangs cut across all racial and ethnic boundaries. Man's need to bond with his fellow man is very strong indeed. When young people are kept in the throes of poverty, little family intervention, and a lot less hope, then it's understandable why they reach to the local gang for comfort and a sense of belonging. The positive reasons for joining a gang may eventually become a destructive association, but one thing we know for certain, that gangs are a big part of city life and that the vast majority of kids are in gangs to survive. If you're in a gang and need advice, or if you want more information on gangs, then please write to our own brother Modesto Leon. That's at the SEA Youth Development Program, 4561 Brooklyn Avenue, LA, California, 90022. Or you can reach him personally by calling area code 213-261-9712. Ricky, Rebecca, Brother Leon, thank you so much for being here and shedding so much light on these gangs and why they exist and the need for bonding. This is Joe Feinstein for Teen Talk saying we'll see you very, very soon.